Ladies and gentlemen, on the phone, calling from Texas, is Mr. Rod Prince, one of the founding members of the Bubble Puppy, lead guitar and vocals. How you doing, Rod?
I'm doing great, Greg, and yourself?
Not bad, man. We're, getting into summertime.
Oh, that's a fact. It get plenty warm down here in Texas. Yeah, it is.
Yes, it is down there. I like that area. Aren't you north of Dallas someplace?
Well, no, I'm southwest of Fort Worth, actually.
Oh, you're okay. Gotcha.
Middle of nowhere, basically.
Well, where did you grow? Did you grow up around San Antonio? Is that your?
No, actually, I'm from Corpus. I was born down there.
Uh-huh.
My daddy was an aircraft mechanic, so we moved about every 3 years, and we lived in California. And
you've been all over
Texas. Yeah, pretty much. Well, I came up here about 10 years ago, and we started the vineyard a couple of years after that. So a couple of 3 years ago, so that's kind of what I've been doing.
Plus playing a little music?
Yeah, 3 years ago, we put this thing back together.
That's great.
Oh, it sure is. I couldn't be happier. I didn't play for 22 years. I thought I'd ever perform.
Is that right? You took that long off?
Well, I whacked my finger on my left hand. It's still.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's a hell of a thing. But, stuff happens.
Yeah. Well, you're back playing. My brother Steve has seen you. He's enjoyed it. He says he's going to see you on June 14th.
Yeah, I can't wait, too. We got to visit son last time.
Oh,
yeah. Down in San Antonio.
He's a big fan. Well, yeah, he loves you guys, and he says you guys sound great live, and I hope someday that I can see you play. I don't know do you guys ever get out of Texas up these parts at all? Or?
We haven't yet. All of us haven't, all of us work,
sure.
Jobs and all that kind of stuff. We play about once a month on an average. And it's, we all love to. We love to get out of Texas, but it's, who knows? It's kind of hard to really make it work at this point.
That's a big state to get out of. You could work year round down there.
That's it.
That is amazing. It's like a country in itself.
Yeah, pretty much. We played South Padre, right at the tip of Texas, down by Brownsville.
Yeah.
Last fall, it's like, God, drive for 8 or 9 hours.
Yes, well, I played down that area years ago. Years ago, the Headhunters played. Us and Danny Gatton did a little run all through there, and
there you go.
Many moons ago. That was probably around 1991. But you guys, the Bubble Puppy, your origins, everybody pretty much from Texas.
Yeah, we all were. Todd was the other guitar player. Todd was an Austin native, and of course I'm from Corpus. David was actually born in San Antonio, the drummer, but he moved to Corpus when he was young, and so he grew up there too. That's where we met. And of course, Roy, the late bass player, was from he was from Baltimore, actually. He sort of grew up in San Antonio, more so than not. So actually, Roy was the only one who was actually born elsewhere.
Okay.
In more ways than one.
So he actually wasn't of this world?
I'll have to say that. He's brilliantly gifted on the one hand as a songwriter, a singer. That is in his prime. He was probably one of the top 2 or 3 bass players on the planet.
Oh wow!
But showbiz will change anybody.
Well, of course, and we could talk about the perils of the road and the business end of it. Will on the front lines will take you down if you're not careful, and they can do it.
That's it.
Record labels are not there for our health, are they?
They're not there for us at all.
Not really. No. Well, it's so crazy. Back in '69 when Hot Smokin' Sassafras was released, it was a hit in South Central Kentucky as it was in Louisville. And I ordered a copy of the record on International Artist. And I may have actually picked it up over in Glasgow. Who knows, at Rice's Radio. But, you know, it was very, very progressive. You guys were so progressive. You and Todd together were a great guitar team.
It's a thing like that. And the first time we sat down together, it was really a magical mix.
Yeah. And I have to think that Dwayne Allman, during his period with the Hourglass, him and Greg had a band called the Hourglass, and I don't know if they ever played through Texas or not, but I have to think that Dwayne listened to you guys, because I can hear some things in your music that kind of reminds me of Allman Brothers when they were off in their jams and things.
Right.
And maybe it's just the two guitar stuff.
A lot of that going on.
Yeah.
You know, as far as, well, you know, the two guitar thing was something that I'd had in my head for a couple of years. And when I finally had a chance to actually make it work, when I was actually in a position to put a band together the way I wanted to put one together.
Yeah.
I said, hey, man, this is the only way to do it. You know, yeah, it was. Back then, you had a lead guitar player and you had a rhythm player.
Yeah, that's right. But both you guys...
There's so much more you could do if you had two lead players.
Oh, yeah.
Lead player can play
you played a lot of leads yourself.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's, on Gathering, you can tell, well, my stuff is, as opposed to Todd's, Todd would think his guitar, Todd's also a saxophone player. And if you hear his licks, you can tell that he's thinking like a horn player, with the intonations and things. And whereas my stuff was somewhat farther out there.
Well, okay, who played the solo on Lonely? Was that you or Todd?
That was me.
The fuzzed out fast solo?
Oh, yeah, the insane solo.
That's insane, man.
Isn't it there?
Well, I was going to tell you, it's a great solo. Well, I was going to tell you, well, let me tell you, when I bought that 45, as we always did, we'd flip the record over, just see what's on the other side, just like, you remember, Over, Under, Sideways, Down by the Yardbirds, right?
Right. Yeah,
flip it over, you hear Jeff's Boogie, and there was always a nice, and man, that solo on Lonely is crazy.
It is.
Wow.
I couldn't play that now to save my soul. Mark can, our guitar player. But, that's the thing about him, is that of all the people I've known in my whole life, Miller is the only guy I've ever run across who could actually play the stuff I used to play, note for note, lick for lick. I was looking at him with, whoa, look at you now. How'd you do that?
So he was a big Bubble Puppy fan, correct?
Right. Yeah, Mark and Jimmy and Greg, they actually had a band when they were in high school. They grew up on the Puppy and Damien and all that stuff. And it's amazing. Greg can play Todd's parts note for note. Mark can play mine note for note. Jimmy can play Roy note for note. It's scary. All me and Fuzz had to do was just step up and go, okay, we'll play these songs. You'll play this one? Sure.
That's amazing.
And they had it. It's awesome. I can't tell you how happy it really makes me to see these guys work.
Yes. That's great, man.
It's too much fun.
Well, going back to that first album, what were you guys using? We're going to talk a little gear right now.
All right.
Because I know you had some kind of distortion box on Lonely.
Lonely, that's the only thing that I used any effects on at all. Because we used straight up custom 200s with the old black rolled and pleated things. I used a fuzz face.
Fuzz face. Okay. That's the reason your tone was good. Yeah.
Right.
No fuzz face.
Other than that, it's all just straight out of the amp. Hot Smoke is just the tone of the amp.
That's
the old
true.
335.
Did you play through 35?
Right, yeah. 67, right? Yeah, 67, 335.
Then Todd had I think he had an SG, I believe, right?
Yeah, he played SG, pretty much exclusively, except for a little while when he played a shorter neck Ibanez. or just like I play now, but the 22 fret.
Wow.
Something I forget.
Man, amazing. Well, yeah, you guys had good tones, and like I say, Lonely. When I flipped it over, I went, Lord God, man, this guy's quick. He's fast here.
Deranged. Yeah, that was really out there.
Yeah, that first, the entrance that solo was like, it's like, I can't, it reminds me of some horror. I'm trying to think what it is. It's like a sinister movie, like a villain showing up, you know, or like a girl on a railroad track or something, you know?
Right. The train started coming.
Yeah, the train's coming. Here's the girl laying on the track. And here, you know, it does. It sets up that kind of image. It is. Wow. Great. Well, great work on that. Well, all right. We're going back. The origins of Bubble Puppy. Tell me about how you guys met. You had different names and all that stuff. And what made you want to get into music? Who was it? The Beatles or was it something else?
I was playing long before the Beatles. I started in '60. So I've been playing 1,000 years. Basically.
Wow.
No, you know, I grew up with music. My parents listened to music all the time. It was his household. Pop played a little guitar. He was a one-note man on his $15 Stella.
Wow, okay.
He didn't play much, but, you know, I had a really wide set of influences growing up musically. Mom liked musicals and classical, and pop like Chet Atkins and Billy Muir, obscure people like that. I think for me, though, I thought about it, you know, all these years, and the one song that made me want to be a guitar player is Marty Robbins' El Paso.
Oh, yes.
The guitar part.
Grady Martin.
That's right. Grady Martin.
I wish I could say I was kin to Grady Martin, but
yeah, I think I've asked you that before.
I think you did. Yeah, but he was a great player. Yes, what a beautiful. Yes, I remember hearing that when I was a kid. Yeah, that's some very, very wonderful playing.
Well, just the diversity within that one track. You know, it's like, golly.
Yes.
I can play anything. It does, one after the other.
Yeah, he was amazing, and I don't know. He's passed on now, right?
I think so. Pretty sure.
He played with. Correct me. He played with Merle Haggard for a bit. I think.
Seems like I read that.
He was playing with Merle Haggard or Willie. I can't remember. It was one of those guys, and which is cool to say for Merle that he recognized. You know how Nashville is. We can get into Nashville and how the Flavor of the Month Club down there.
Yeah.
But people like Merle and Willie, they know what real music is, and they would take somebody like Grady that was great, better than anybody else down there, and
yeah,
didn't matter how old they were, they just kept playing. You know.
Well, that's it. It's a thing. What a talent.
Deep well.
Oh, man.
Sure was, man. And of course, you mentioned Chet. He was so great. So great. But, man, you came out of an area that was just steeped in great players and great music. Everything from blues to jazz and everything. You know, rock. Did you ever run into Billy Gibbons? I bet you did with the Moving Sidewalks.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
you knew Billy.
Way back when we were living in Houston.
Of course.
Before Endearing, you know, doing the Gathering of Promises stuff. Because we started in San Antonio, moved to Austin, then got the record deal with IA and moved to Houston. So that's how that fell out.
Okay.
But yeah, Billy was just part of the Houston music family back then. And of course, we lost track of each other for probably about 30 years. But Lori and I went on the Rock Legends cruise a couple of years ago, and Billy and them were playing.
Oh yeah, okay.
And we happened to run into him eating dinner in the restaurant, so we got to visit for a good while, and it was really nice to see him again.
Yes, well, Billy is always good friend to talk to, isn't he?
Yeah, he's good people. I mean, he really is. Good player and all that stuff.
Yes. And, you know, Moving Sidewalks did a reunion last year, I think, in New York.
Yeah, I think it was last year.
A couple.
Year before. Yeah, I saw that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's the thing. I didn't get to hear them, but, no, of course not. It was in New York, as I recall.
I thought they might do some in Texas, but I don't think they ever did.
I don't think they did it either. I'm not really sure, but it doesn't seem like it.
Well, so you were, hanging around the move. How about the 13th floor elevators, Rocky Erickson?
Oh yeah, you bet. That's Corpus stuff, because they were coming from Port Aransas, basically at the Dunes Club, and it was. Well, yeah, I know Rocky from later on, like the Houston times, like John Ike and Stacy and those people. They were much better friends because I knew them real well. Because in Corpus, we'd go out to the Dunes Club in Port Aransas all the time. Mm-hmm. I'd watch them play, and that was the Corpus music family. They were part of that. Mm-hmm. So, good old folks, man.
Now, would that been close to Janis Joplin? She was from Corpus, Port Arthur, over in that area?
Well, it's not close, but it's...
That's right. It is a pretty good little ways. Did you know Janis? I guess you did.
We did a show with her in '69 sometime. Well, when she had Full Tilt, did a show with the Houston Coliseum, I guess. And her and a couple of the guys in the band and a couple of her road crew came over to our place after. Hey, we had a good visit, and Janis called her folks from my bedroom on my phone, and we've been at her for a while. Sweet lady. I'll tell you what I tell everybody else.
Yeah,
Janis,
I think she was.
She said, if anybody asks, you tell them I was a good hog. So I'm going to tell you, too. Janis was a good hog.
That's great. That's great. Man, how about a band that had a hit in Louisville? I know you knew these guys, too. Fever Tree.
Oh, yeah. Mike Canoes and them, you bet. Mm-hmm. It's more of the Houston music family there. We all played Love Street all the time. And generally, there was a brotherhood, more or less. Mm-hmm. We all knew each other. It's like a big small town when it comes to players. You know what it's like.
Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing. During the reunion, Dennis Keller, the puppet reunion, clarify myself there in '84, we were supposed to do a show. It wasn't New Year's, it was somewhere in there. But Dennis Keller had his Vice Versa band just coming out. They did the show, is what I'm leading up to. But, 2 weeks? Yeah, 2 weeks before the show, Cox was up on a sort of a scaffold, and the whole thing collapsed.
Oh.
And he fell down and broke both his forearms.
Oh,
he was like pins and stuff. So, man, we can't play. Cox can't play. So we canceled our part of it.
Yeah.
And none of us win except Roy. Roy goes down there with both his arms and cast up to the shoulders, and he showboats and gets up there and sings and all this stuff. What?
Oh, man.
So, I hadn't seen Dennis in forever.
Yeah.
10 million years.
Yeah.
Canoes, Mike is dead, I believe. He's been gone a few years. A lot of us have passed,
Yeah, you're right. You're right. See, San Francisco Girl was a hit in Louisville.
Oh, it was everywhere, I think.
Mm-hmm. And we all thought they were from San Francisco, of course, because their cover was so strange, Remember the cover?
Wasn't it there?
Yeah. And let me tell you a little story. We lived Cedar Flats, Kentucky. Steve, my brother Bruce, me, and my dad would come home on weekends. And I had a car radio hooked up in the bedroom, hooked to a magnetone amplifier.
There you go, man.
You know what a magnetone is. Well, anyway, see, we lived out in the middle of nowhere, and you couldn't really pull in stations on a tabletop, but I figured for some reason, car radios had a better receiver in. And when Dad moved us down from Louisville, and we were stuck out in the middle of nowhere, I wanted to keep up with what was going on in Louisville, so hooked up a Chevrolet radio or a Ford radio up and had it plugged into this amp. So one day, Fever Tree San Francisco Girl comes on, and at the end it goes into that feedback part.
Right.
For about 30 seconds it's just nothing but feedback. And I noticed my dad is just looking at the radio, just kind of like, what's going on? Your radio's blowing up. He thought it was gone. He never could. I said, no, Dad, it's okay. He didn't quite understand the late 60s when Hendrix came out and, wah wah pedals and fuzz tones and stuff.
My folks didn't either. Oh, what is this stuff?
Yeah, what are you trying to make your guitar sound like a juice harp?
Right.
Well, we like that. Christmas '68, I got a Vox fuzz and a wah wah pedal for Christmas. So
yeah, man. Awesome, man.
But
the good stuff.
The good stuff. So anyway, what was like before Bubble Puppy? Name your band. It eludes me right now. What was the name of your?
Before the Puppy, the Bad Seeds.
Yes. Were you Bad Seeds?
You sound like a man who's seen that video. Good Lord.
What were you guys doing at that point? What kind of music were you doing? Blues or?
Oh no, it was all cover stuff.
Cover stuff.
Stones and whatnot. Little words here and there. Generally top 40 stuff. Rock and roll, right?
Yeah.
And that's I did that for a good long while. I will say a year and a half anyway. Seemed like a long time back then. I guess I was 16 or 17 during that time period. Had some nice guitars back then too. I just, if I had them now, I could buy me some rental property. Yeah, man.
What'd you have? Did you have an old Les Paul?
Yeah, the first good guitar I had was a 64 SG Les Paul.
Yes.
With the Maestro on it. You've seen them, I'm sure.
Yeah, sure.
Traded that for the Firebird that's on that Bad Seeds video, which is one of the very few.
Wow.
That has the headstock going down.
Yep.
A non-reverse.
Yes.
It's a lawsuit headstock, if you know the one I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
There's a plank, and good Lord, what a heap, but I wish I had it now. I'd sell it so fast.
Isn't it amazing you could buy those guitars? They were just used guitars, weren't they?
Yeah, no, that was brand new.
Really? Oh, you're talking about you bought them when they were brand new. That's true. That's true. You're right. See, by the late 60s and early 70s, there wasn't a vintage guitar market. There were just used guitars,
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Hey, I got this used Les Paul from 1958 or 59. I'll take $200 or $300 for it.
That's exactly right. I've seen your used Les Paul, brother.
Oh yeah, I'm lucky on that one. That's a good one. I'm very fortunate. I treasure that guitar. I do.
Oh, you should, man. It's a jewel, Greg.
I love it. But I grew up after I saw John Sebastian play a 59 in Louisville in 1966. That's what I wanted. And of course, after I heard Michael Bloomfield, what he could do with the Les Paul, I went, okay, that works.
That's right. That's exactly right.
So the Bubble Puppy, did you guys, you must have started writing music at some point, and then the scene was changing, getting more progressive. Did you see Hendrix or somebody like that to tip you guys over a little bit?
Well, I saw Jimmy before we even started the Puppy.
Okay.
I saw him do 3 songs. I should amend that before he blew the stack. Smoked his little sons down. Oh, man. 3 singers, but I'll tell you what, it stuck with me.
Where did you see him play at?
In San Antonio, at Coliseum, I believe.
So he blew the amps up, and that was it, huh?
That was it. He just walked off stage. Lights came up. Well, that's the show, y'all. Okay.
Wow. Who else?
It's amazing how good he was that nobody even complained. It's like, wow, everybody blew everybody away. I've never seen nothing like that.
Well, you probably knew Johnny Winter, right?
Yeah, we played the Vulcan a bunch of times.
Yeah, Vulcan Gas Company, absolutely. Well, he said the first time he and Uncle John Turner and Tommy saw Jimi Hendrix, Johnny Winter was sitting, I can't believe nobody can be this good.
Yeah, it is really that way. I mean, he really was that good.
Yeah.
Golly. Not of this earth. I mean, that guy.
That's right.
Man. What a talent. What a gifted individual. I've never seen the like.
Did you ever cross paths with him after that?
No, never did.
Never did.
Strangely enough. You think we would have, but I never did. Well,
see, because your Hot Smoke hit in '69, correct? Or I'm thinking the early part of '69. Is that?
It was released in December of '68. So
yeah, right. There you go. Because it was a hit around home in the early part of '69, and
in about 6 weeks, it was a hit all over the planet.
Oh yeah, huge.
It was like #1 in Europe and Australia and all those places. We didn't get #1 in New York or Los Angeles because of a mix-up in the payola that was going on.
Yep, there was lots of payola.
The people at IA messed it up. They paid the one people and they didn't pay the other people. And, I've heard all kind of bizarre stories about that.
Yeah.
That's where it finally boiled down to. Because our producer was deep into all that stuff.
Yeah.
And, here's what happened, guys.
Oh, gotcha.
It was a monster. Of course, those people, they had no idea what to do with the band.
Well, tell everyone the name of the song. What it was originally called, and how it came to be, the influence for it, their inspiration.
Well, it's just now somebody finally found the episode of the Beverly Hillbillies where Granny Clampett goes, "Hot smoking sassafras, what's that?" And Miller recorded the thing.
Wow.
And boosted the DVDs. It got it all cool. We played it. What did we play last Friday? And he ran that through the PA first before we started Hot Smoke and pumped the smoke machine. It's killer. There's a vid that Laurie just put up on our YouTube channel. It's on the Facebook pages too. But with Granny saying all that stuff, and Hot Smoke starts. What a bunch of fun. But yeah, they screwed up the name like they screwed up everything else. International artists did. I mean, and they use Hot Smoke and Sassafras. It's Hot Smoking Sassafras.
Oh yes. So they changed the name on you.
Right. Yeah.
Hot Smoking Sassafras. So is that episode with Granny on YouTube now?
Yeah. On our particular YouTube channel.
Okay.
The Bubble Puppy YouTube channel.
Yep. Because when you told me that about a year ago, we couldn't find it, so it must have been that's great.
I think Vicky Io finally found it. He wrote that Boys from Houston book.
Yeah.
Somebody is serviced, like I said, maybe a month ago, I guess, or less. And, whoa, there it is. Look at that. Proof positive is where that came from.
So you guys heard the title and immediately wrote a great song around it.
Well, it was kind of the other way around, actually. The song, Hot Smoke itself, was originally a music track that me and Roy and Fuzz were jamming in the studio.
Oh, okay.
One night. And Todd wasn't there. He was sick, and he was home recuperating. The three of us put the music together, and Ray Rush went, "Whoa, man!" The producer, write some words to that. Okay. So that's why the words are sort of, how would you put it, less than esoteric. They're got a little throwaway verse there, more or less. But it's words put to a killer music track.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah, we watched the Hillbillies religiously every day.
Sure.
We did the breaks between the afternoon practice and the evening practice. Smoking sassafras.
and there it was.
There it was. Man.
You never know where the inspiration or a hit title will come from.
Oh, that's true, my brother. It really is.
That is amazing. So you guys, let me ask you this. Did the 45 come out first and then an album?
Right, yeah. The 45 came out, 45 was a hit, and they were still mixing on it. They mixed it while we were playing in Chicago.
Where'd you play in Chicago? I'm just curious.
Oh, God, every little dive.
Kinetic Playground, by chance?
Yeah, as a matter of fact.
Yep, the Kinetic. Do you remember a radio show in Chicago called the Subterranean Circus?
Yeah, I do.
Ron Britton.
I thought about that. Yeah.
Ron Britton was the DJ. He's a friend of mine. He lives in Louisville. He played you guys.
Yeah, there you go.
He did remember Beaker Street in Little Rock?
Little Rock. We've done...
Little Rock, Arkansas. There was a show called Beaker Street. You know, every town had an underground show. Your music was considered underground, but see, back then, some of the songs would escape the underground into the top 40, you know, as yours did. And there was a great show called Beaker Street over in Little Rock. I can't think of the DJ's name right now, but also Ron Britton had a show in Chicago called the Subterranean Circus, and he worked at WCFL.
Yeah, I remember his name.
Yeah, I'm sure he was a big supporter of you guys. So you were in Chicago playing when they were mixing, huh?
Well, what they would do is they'd fly us into O'Hare, rent us a station wagon with a little U-Haul trailer.
Yeah.
And boogie us in every little dive within driving distance in a circle around Chicago. That was their idea of how to manage a worldwide hit.
Oh, my.
It's like they would not give up the booking to anybody who knew what they were doing.
Oh, so they were in-house completely, probably record company, publishing, also your booking management as well, maybe?
That's it. Artist management. That's it.
Yes, I gotcha. Yeah,
Ouch, huh?
It's like a 360 deal today. I mean, it's kind of reverted back to some of that stuff, you know, a little bit. I mean, which is unfortunate. But
hopefully, somebody knows what they're doing. I mean, those guys were clueless if they're international artists.
Well,
what do we do? I don't know. We'll wait for the phone to ring. Yeah, that's what we'll do.
Sign this. Sign on the dotted line. You're gonna be a star. You know.
Yeah.
You got a hit. And so when did the album actually come out? In '69 at some point.
Yeah, I think it was probably, it's been a long while. I'd say 3 or 4 months after Hot Smoke was released. That's an estimate. Yes, I can find out for sure, but I've forgotten the exact month.
Right. I've got a vinyl copy of it. It's in my old vinyl albums. I've just got to pull it out. I've got it. I bought it in Louisville. I've had it for years.
Came out pretty good, considering.
Yes.
Give me those pan pots. Throw them in the trash. Get away from them pan pots. Oh, look. He tells us when we get back, look, we got pan pots. I see that. What did you do with them? Oh, man.
Let's pan the guitar solo. Right? Did you want that's one of the first things I want to do is pan the solo right and left.
Well, what they did was, you've heard the Hot Smoke single mix versus the LP mix. And the LP mix is DNA on the left side, DNA on the right side.
Yes.
Back and forth and back and forth.
Yes.
Until you could chaw the wall, more or less. drove me crazy. But yeah, I don't know, whatever. I guess their artistic expression,
they were what they were.
Them.
Well, yeah, the 45 was, you know, it's strange. People don't realize, but back in the 60s, from 65, whenever Sgt. Pepper came out, originally the mono mixes were the ones they put all the care into.
That's it.
You know, the up till Sgt. Pepper's, the stereo mix was a throwaway, basically. They just did it because there was a few stereos available. And what's so funny, you know, they would charge $1 or $2 less for a mono record, and you'd pay $1 more for stereo. Now, a mono record, a clean mono record, say of a Beatle album, is worth way more than the stereo album.
Yeah, it's a better mix.
Better mix. Yeah. That's correct. That's correct. And you're right. A lot of things went awry because of experimenting. You know, you're right.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yep.
That's correct. We mixed Hot Smoke on car stereo speakers.
Yep.
Little bitty those oval shaped things.
That's right.
In a car.
That's right.
Set two of them up there on the control panel and mix the thing right through that.
That's right. That's how people did it back then. That's exactly right. You know,
because it was aimed right at people driving around in their cars, especially lonely. I mean, that's windows down and crank it up.
Well, okay.
That's about.
So the song became a hit, and the album came out. Who all did you guys tour with? Who'd you do shows with?
Well, let's see. I think the first really good one was Canned Heat.
Oh, Canned Heat.
In San Antonio at the Hemisphere Arena, I believe it was called.
Mm-hmm.
Just a marvelous venue. And that was the first time we really did a really upscale venue with a whole lot of folks. I mean, the place was packed.
Mm-hmm.
Our parents all came, and, you know, my father saw what we did, and went, well, you were right, and I was wrong.
Yeah.
And kicked ass, son.
Right.
So there was that. We played the Steppenwolf a bunch, and Grassroots, and Grand Funk. And, I mean, a lot. Those three people.
Did you get to know some of those folks pretty good?
Oh, yeah. The Steppenwolf guys. Later on, Roy and I would start Man Beast, and they had a band out there in California after Damien broke up.
Oh, yeah.
Myself and Roy and Goldie, the keyboard player, and Jerry, the drummer from Steppenwolf.
Oh, okay.
You know, Goldie and I stay in touch still, and Jerry's been going.
I know Goldie, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, Goldie's. I've had him actually on the show way back.
Oh,
Yeah.
There you go.
And actually, we know John Kay as well, but I don't see John Kay much now. We used to run into John Kay because he lived outside of Nashville.
Ah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, John, he's gracious. You got to give him that, no matter what you think about him or his political views. I mean, he never failed to shake my hand and recognize me, even though I know he couldn't see me. He's trying to see me.
True. Gotcha.
But he always knew who I was once he heard my name, and it meant a lot to me.
Yeah, he's always nice to us too. And now I never met Jerry Edmonton or Michael Monarch or what was the original?
Nick.
Yeah, Nick St. John.
Nick St. Nicholas, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry about that, Nick St. Nicholas. Now I met, here my mind is slow here. They changed it. Larry Byram. I know who Larry Byram. He came in a little bit later.
Yeah, they go after Michael. Michael left.
Yeah.
And Larry Byram and George Biondi took Nick's place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know those guys too.
And
but the thing of it is, Nick, us moving to California and changing the name to Damien, that's all directly linked to Nick St. Nicholas, because he managed us then. That was his idea. We'll move you out here, just walk away from IA, we'll get you a record deal with ABC Dunhill.
Yeah.
And I'll be your manager, and I'll put all the money I have into your project. And, you know, he did. You got to give him that.
Right. Well, tell everybody kind of, it got to the point where your record label with Bubble Puppy weren't living up to what they were supposed to do.
Oh, God.
You know, in a caps, you don't have to go through the whole heartbreak of it all, but basically y'all got fed up with it, and the only way to escape the record label was to change your name, correct?
Pretty much, yeah. And we just walked away. They go, we're going to suspend your contract. I said, go ahead. Go on and do it. We ain't getting anything out of you anyway.
Right. So you never done a follow-up album to A Gathering of Promises, correct?
No. No, we did, what? The last single we did for him was What Do You See? And Ray Rush had already left, our producer. He got sick of them, you know, way before we did. Sick enough to walk, I mean. And, you know, What Do You See was pretty good. I mean, it's probably the most commercially viable of the post-Hot Smoke records that we did. It's one of my favorites. I mean, it's lots of vocals and, you know, lots of killer guitar stuff and all that cool stuff. But, you know, by that time, the momentum from Hot Smoke had already kind of faded away. And without Ray there to really do his magic promotionally,
yeah,
I don't know. Than us being there to promote it.
Right.
That's not the thing of it. Yeah, well.
Yeah.
It was a thing. Yeah, it's royalties were never forthcoming.
Never, yeah.
Charges for studio time, charges for everything.
Toilet paper.
Right. Their accounting principles were non-existent. It just whatever suited them at the moment.
So you guys went to California, and let me tell you a little story. When I was in high school, a fellow guitar player, a friend of mine, Rick Sart, and we were, I never will forget, we were getting ready to catch a bus one day. He said, man, I saw this great band on American Bandstand called Demian. Do you remember being on American Bandstand? Or
yeah, with Puppy, not with Demian.
Well, did they play a Demian single on possibly?
That could be.
That's what it was, I'm sure. Yeah. Okay. He saw the Bubble Puppy then, but he said he'd heard Demian on American Bandstand, I guess Raider Record or something like that, and
could well be.
And I never could find that album.
Oh, you don't have it?
I've got a copy of a burn of it. I've got to find it. I've got it because I've played it on the show before. But did it actually come out as a vinyl? I mean, I know it did.
Oh yeah.
Did they reissue it on CD?
No. Well, you can get them. They're bootlegs in Germany or France.
Okay.
There's several of them flapping around out there. But it's I forget now. But it was just a series of letters, like BBC or JFK or something like that, out of Germany. The copy I have. You know?
Wow.
I mean, I've got my vinyl, but they never did do a CD on it.
Gotcha.
They just kind of shelved the thing.
Did you just do one Demian album?
Yeah, we had another 4 or 5 songs. Just had to go for a second one with the band broke up before we could do it.
Oh.
Because, you know, you go to California, it ain't like being in Texas.
No.
Because we were accustomed, everybody living in a band house and getting up and playing all hours whenever we felt like playing.
Sure.
And as well as doing live shows, do 2 every weekend. Play Friday and Saturday. You know, make a decent living. You go out to L.A., man, it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah. What years were you out there?
That was 70 through 71.
70 through 71. Wow. So the Whiskey A Go-Go and a lot of that was still going out there.
Oh, yeah. We did the Whiskey a couple of times.
Yeah. Did you ever run into the Allman Brothers at all?
Never did.
Never did? Because they were out there as the Hourglass before you guys come out there, I guess.
Probably so.
Yeah.
I think. Seems like. Yeah, they were.
That's right. They were. Wow.
We did trying to think who else we played with. Black Oak did a show with them.
Mm-hmm.
It's at the pier in Santa Monica, or was it Venice, something like that. It's a little dive, you know. Nah, there wasn't a whole lot of quality showbiz going on when Damien went out there. It's kind of like, man, culture shock.
Yeah.
Although I lived out there before, I've never been out there as a working musician.
Yes.
And it was just, we just couldn't keep it together. It was just too different, too depressing, shall we say.
Right. Yeah, well, like I say, the music business will do that. It has that tendency to do that. So after Demon, what did you end up doing? You ended up starting a couple other bands?
I came back to Texas for a while and went back out there and did that Man Beast thing with the Steppenwolf guys. And I guess we piddled around with that for about a year, and I finally reached the point where, this is enough. I'm going home. I went back to Texas, got me a job, got married, worked the building trades for 30 years after that.
Wow.
Off and on. Was an electrician, tile setter, and that just about everything else at one point or another. Carpentry work and whatever. Ran the movies for about, 4 or 5 years as a projectionist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, stuff like that. And I started playing again along about, 76, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Actually, I've been playing ever since I came back. Now that's not think of it. Up until I screwed up my finger in '90.
Oh wow!
Various bands with me and Fuzz, the drummer.
Mm-hmm.
We did had a really fine trio with myself and Rob Hammond and Fuzz, the Prince trio in '76, and that turned into Sirius. Todd finally came back from California because he stayed out there. Right. Everybody else came back. He came back and he joined with the trio, and we called it the Puppy again, and then that turned into Sirius.
Okay.
And that lasted until about summer of '78, I want to say.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Then not too much till the Puppy reunion in '84. Did a few shows. There wasn't much there.
Right.
Roy was too crazy. Yeah.
Well, you guys you played quite a few reunions. Did you do some stuff in Austin, Texas at, what is that club? Continental Club? Did you play Continental Club?
That was one of the shows we did during the reunion, yeah. Mm-hmm. Continental and Texas Money and Liberty Lunch. There's videos of that one, the Liberty Lunch thing. Nothing else comes to mind.
Well, did you know any of the Vaughn brothers? Did you know Stevie or Jimmy?
I didn't know either one of them.
Okay.
While we may have crossed paths.
Yeah.
It would just be in passing. That kind of thing. Right.
Jimmy, I think, played in bands around Fort Worth area, right?
Yeah, as far as I know, they were blues players, and I was never a blues player, really. I started out in playing after hours nightclubs and stuff like that.
Sure. Sure.
And nightlife and stuff like that.
Yes.
On the old songs way back when. My influences weren't really blues.
Well,
more or less.
Who's somebody that you met that really, I guess did you ever meet any of the Zeppelin folks or any of those people? Or
seems like we did a show with them. I never can be sure. I thought sometimes I think we actually were invited to go and see them. But then on the other hand, people have gone, oh, no, y'all open for them. Things get hazy, Greg.
Well,
I don't remember. Crazy stuff.
Well, I hear you. Well, of course, they went from the Yardbirds. They morphed from the Yardbirds into Zeppelin. It took about so I guess the last Zeppelin dates. I mean, the last Yardbird dates were probably '68 sometime. Then Zeppelin happened.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, then what I did meet Jeff Beck one time at the airport in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
We did a couple of sessions down there in Houston with the bad seats. Me and Taylor were there in the airport. He goes, "Hey, there's Jeff Beck." I mean, Mike would talk to anybody. He'd walk right up to him and go, "Hey, man, what's up with you?"
How was Beck? Good mood that day?
Oh, yeah, he was awesome.
Cool.
Having fun with the waitresses, giving them hell. That made an impression on me. That's how you're supposed to act if you're a rock and roll star. Okay, I got you.
That's great. That's great.
Nice people.
Well, what's going on, man? You got some dates coming up with the Bubble Puppy, right?
Yeah, we're going to do, San Antonio, Saturday after next. And then, let's see, being June, we're taking July off because that's the harvest month here at the vineyard.
Yes.
And it's elbows and kneecaps until we get to the grave seeing.
Yes.
And I believe August, there'll be another show in Austin, I think, probably at the Roost, seems like.
Mm-hmm.
After that, there's a Houston show coming up, and odds and ends. There's a lot of things in the works. Some things are pretty firm, but Mark takes care of all that. So
Good deal.
I don't keep up with it as much as I should because it's my dog, really.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't deal with that end of it either. I got a Bubble Puppy Christmas ornament thanks to my brother.
There you go. He sent you one?
Yes. Yeah, he gave it. He actually brought it personally up here. I love it. Yeah. It's
the
cool.
beheaded dog.
Yep.
Where's the entrails that went with that dog?
Yeah, he says he got something else for me down there, and I'll see him here one of these days. He's
there you
go. Now you guys have got to. Yeah, I'll see him. I don't know if I'll see him when he'll be back home here. I think but he says he got a couple things for me. But you'll see him before I do. I think you've seen him more than I do down there.
There you go. So just tweaking my mind there. Hey, you're going to be seeing Greg. Pass these few things over here. You take up to him the next time you see it.
We got to send you something down there. Yeah.
There you go.
You got a website, Bubble Puppy does, right?
Right. BubblePuppy.com. That's it.
And you've got, of course, you're on Facebook. You're on Facebook.
Right.
You have your Bubble Puppy page up there. And
the official Bubble Puppy band, right?
That's
the Bubble Puppy 2012, which is like the group page. Everybody has a big time and abuses each other on Facebook. Ah!
Do you see Todd very much at all?
Not a whole lot. No, Todd's got his own thing going, his own band, the Todd Potter Band, and they play around a lot, And
okay.
Todd's got a wealth of excellent original material that he does, and for me, just to be able to play,
yes,
and perform, pretty much, it's I have no desire to pursue stardom any further because
just have fun.
I'm a little long in the tooth anyway. If I can get up and play.
Well, you're having fun. You're having fun.
I am. Playing all the old songs that Roy and I wrote. It's like a precious gift, man. I got
absolutely.
I never thought I'd have it again.
Well, I'm glad you have it. I hope to get to see you sometime, and would love it if you guys come up this neck of the woods. So you never know.
I'd sure like to. I mean, I'd love to get out of Texas. I'd love to get out and play. I like to go to Europe,
Yeah, well, yes, you guys have got a great following over there. Did Bubble Puppy ever play Kentucky?
No.
Never did play Kentucky. I'm surprised you never played Louisville, because Louisville, WKLO and WAKY were big I mean, Hot Smoking Sassafras were hits on those stations.
Yeah, well, that just sort of indicates he was managing the band.
There you go.
There's doing the booking stuff. You know, number one hit all over everywhere. We played Canada once, about 10 miles across the border.
Yeah.
That was it for our international shows.
Yeah.
Most places we didn't play, ever. If it wasn't within driving distance of Chicago, we never got there. Because they knew how to do that. We can book students right over here. And yeah, man.
Man, I hear you. Well, I'll tell Ron Britton that I talked to you. Ron Britton was probably one of the DJs in Chicago. Actually, somebody messaged me through Facebook a while ago, and I can't really answer, but they said Ron was living in Louisville, which I knew that, because Ron, that's another story. Ron is a Kentucky boy. And last time I saw Ron was in Louisville, but he was the underground DJ we all learned stuff from on Sunday night, you know.
Yeah, well, tell him hi. If you see him, give him a big old hug for me.
I will, Rod. Well, Rod, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, because we got to take care of commercials here in a minute, but I'm going to play. We're going to go into, we're going to play If I Had a Reason. And
okay.
Now, If I Had a Reason, was that actually a single, a B-side?
Yeah, it was a single.
And
that was supposed to be the A-side, back to something off the LP, I think.
Yeah.
It seems like.
Was it supposed to be on the second album or something, maybe?
No, there is a second album.
There's a second Bubble Puppy album?
Yes.
I've never seen it.
Oh, it was never released. I mean.
Oh.
There's tracks for at least another LP, if not two, on the masters, but they dropped off the face of the earth. Although one of the songs surfaced not too long ago, and I went, well, the only place you could get that was off of master tapes, because it was never recorded anywhere else.
Wow.
So somebody's got them.
Somebody's got the master tapes. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Wow. Did that label, did International Artist have any other? I seem like I've seen another album on that label. Who else did they have?
Oh, they had the Elevators.
That's right, they did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rocking and Easter Everywhere and Psychedelic Sounds.
Yes.
Good stuff. Yeah, man.
Yes. That's the first time Psychedelic Sounds was used in a musical contest, I think, or context.
Seems like to me too.
I think right. Well, listen, thank you for calling in. I appreciate you taking time to do this.
It's a great pleasure, my brother. I enjoy talking to you live and in person, man. You know,
well, I know. We'll have to talk. We'll have to talk again here before long and catch up and see what's going on. But we'll do Demian one night and have you call in again for that. How's that?
Oh, that sounds great, Greg. I love to, man. The phone worked great, didn't it? Yay!
Hey, you didn't fade away. You didn't fade away, man. It was great. Well,
awesome.
Well, this is If I Had a Reason, the Bubble Puppy. And before I go off here tonight, I'll play the mono version of Hot Smoking Sassafras. How's that?
The very thing, man.
I'll play the real deal, okay?
There you go, my brother.
All right, thanks so much, Rod. Hang on there just a second. Here we go, the Bubble Puppy.
If I had a reason for walking away from you, and I had a reason for saying goodbye, and if I needed someone, then I needed you by my side. After seeing the faces and all of the places we've been, how can we say that there'll be a day when we meet again?
Bucks with Buddy Miles, and you're listening to the LowDown HoeDown with Greg Martin.
In the days of our time, things were better, and the wind and the wine can forever. It's got to get better soon. Maybe tomorrow in the afternoon, you'll be free of the people to hustle at night. 'Tis the time to be wise.
Bubble Puppy here on the LowDown HoeDown D93 Bowling Green's classic rock from 1969. That's Days of Our Time. Before that, from the same year, Bubble Puppy, If I Had a Reason. And a big thanks to Rod Prince, founding member, lead guitarist, and vocalist of Bubble Puppy, for calling in and sharing his life and music and a lot of the great stories. And June 14th, I think, in San Antonio. So have fun down there, Rod. We're going to take care of some business. When we come back, we've got some Bubble Puppy, Amboy Dukes, Jefferson Airplane, and Quicksilver Messenger Service. Be right back here on the LowDown HoeDown.